What's up, everybody? That's right. Sorry, playing with the camera. It is Indie News. Oh my gosh, with your boy Chuck Pineau. How we doing? Oh crap, we got a super. Today's gonna be crazy, but we're gonna make fun. We're gonna have a lot of a really enjoyable time. I just finished a 3-day long con, so if I lose my voice, you will understand why. But why don't we make this stuff happen and see where this day ends up getting us? My mouse isn't working. Yeah, it's going to be one of these fun days. I want to take an IQ test. I failed it. How do you fail an IQ test? All right, guys. Jokes out of the way. Let's have some fun. We got Johnny Phantasm and the Tales of New Detroit, 1977. Johnny Phantasm and the Tales of New Detroit, 1977 by Evan Posios and Patrick Thomas Parnell. My mouse is not working right now. Oh, look, it came to life for a second. Okay, so, yeah, and then it died again. So, fuck this. We're only going to be going into so much detail with everything because, I mean, that's all we can do, right? Anthropolis fantasy comic Tim Burton Meets Lord of the Rings series created by veteran writer J.S. Earls and wunderkind artist Britt Sellers. Ow. I'm sorry. That's okay. I don't need all my fingers. It's a 44-page graphic novel. Okay. So that happened. Let's keep going. Neon Wasteland #1, interactive animated comic book and AR app. The psychedelic, post-apocalyptic, augmented reality comic of the future is here. Part comic, part cartoon, all cyberpunk. Neon Wasteland #1, interactive animated comic book and AR app. Okay, right now, because we're just like seeing this as is, and I can't really go into anything, we're gonna just kind of check it out and see what we think. So, I gotta say, I love the animation on that one. It is very cyberpunk. It is very messed up. And you can see a little bit of the steam going on. Is that like steam cyberpunk? Is that what we would call it? I'm not sure. But that looks really cool. And it's an interactive animated comic book app. That's not something you see around very often. And probably expensive as shit to make. So I would at least check that out and see what they got going on. We got Xander #1. The Skyline universe is expanding with a one-shot story centering around Xander. I believe Xander is actually... See, I gotta treat this stuff as trivia for myself. How much do I know about this stuff? How much have I learned? So I believe the Skyline universe is Freddie Packard's universe, and he does a lot of great work for his own comics, Shadowrun Comics. He also does a lot of work for Kraken Printing, who recently printed my own Welcome to the Void and did a really good job at it. So he is someone he's very supportive, terrific guy, and man, the art and everything looks really good. I've only heard good things about Skyline, so check that out. We got Angelica Reigns, The Faith #1, numbers 1 through 3. The third chapter of Angelica Reigns is here. Angelica's battle with the Faith intensifies when a new force enters the game. Is that force good? Evil? I don't know. Let's find out together. Meet the creator. So we met Dale Lazaroff many times. Indie Game Advocates Workshop at Daytona Comic Con, November 4th, 2018. I think this kind of thing would be really cool to check out and honestly to be a part of. When I was at con this weekend, I kept looking and I'm like, man, I would have loved to have been able to be in on a panel. I didn't want to walk away and watch any panels because I'm thinking I gotta sell and get my name out there. And so just walking away from my panel just to watch one didn't feel good, but being in one would be cool. So hopefully at some time someone's like, hey Chuck, you're a cool guy. I don't care if they lie to me. And they go, you're a cool guy. Do you want to be in this panel? And I'll be like, wow, you're lying, but okay. So yeah, that would be fucking cool. We've got Comic-Con Highway Midwest Exit in Ohio, November 3rd through 4th. The Akron Comic Con. It's featuring Sean Forney and Dirk Manning. So those are some big names. It's something to check out. Available in indie previews. Fetish Babies Aftermath PDF version. I think most of the Fetish Babies stuff was going to be taken down, but you know what? This is my chance to step up and say something. I'm stepping away from being, I don't know, the news guy for a second, and I'm just being Chuck. I'm being Chuck, who is a friend, who is a lover of indie comics, and a lover of good story in general. Okay? If you've never read Fetish Babies, and you have an opinion on it, honestly, you kind of need to shut the fuck up. And that really is just the nicest way I can possibly put it. That name and what it is are two separate things. It's on previews. Go and read it. It's not about beating women and hurting people and sex, sex, sex. It's actually quite the opposite. It's about a young woman's journey to discover herself. And fetish is a part of herself. But I learned when reading this that fetish is not something deviant and disgusting. It's something that some people require just in their everyday relationship. And I think that's really important to understand because I didn't know that. I really felt like, fetishism was kind of deviant behavior. And I didn't realize that in a lot of ways, the way it's been explained to me by other fetishists is that it's kind of like being gay or trans or any of that, in the idea that it's not a choice. It's who you are. It's simply what you love. And there's nothing you can do about that. And a regular vanilla relationship will not satisfy that person. And that's difficult. And so what I loved most about Aftermath and Mentor Search, what I loved most about editing these, and yeah, I am the editor, but as the editor, I could do what every other editor does and just not talk about it. And that would be perfectly fine. But I am talking about it, which means I actually give a shit about it. So, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, in the back of those two books, especially Aftermath, they go through how to properly treat a person, how to properly get consent, how to properly how to create a play contract, as they call it, to make sure that everyone stays within the guidelines of what they appreciate. They have all these like red and green and stop and go and all this kind of stuff, so that they're always making sure that one another is happy and enjoying what they want, and that no one is being harmed in any way outside of the way they want to be. So if you want an opinion on this, you need to actually go check it out and read it, and then you can talk about it all you want. But until then, you don't get to have an opinion. And it's the same with any book. You don't just get to have an opinion, or anything really. You don't just get to have an opinion. You actually have to know something about it. So that was my little soapbox step. I'm going to step back off the soapbox. I don't know if you heard that, but that was me stepping off. And we're going to go back to the news. So that's my little rant over. I know that, honestly, guys, Rob, not only did Rob not tell me to do that, but I'm pretty sure he probably didn't want me to at all. But seriously, I think it needs to be said, especially with the Fetish Babies Kickstarter getting so much flack and so much issues. It needed to be said. And I have a vehicle to do that, and I'm going to do it. So that's where I'm at. Anyways, we're done that. We're moving on. We're going to have a good time. Let's join the Advocating Facebook group. That's the Indie Advocates Facebook group. It's worth checking out. The following casework, hashtag I need a miracle. A new god has arisen out of Twitter. Don't worry, T-Titus, Time, and Bev are on the case. I actually don't know a lot about this, but I was sent this book, and I'm going to be doing a review on it this week and getting it out there as soon as possible so that everyone can see it. So, hopefully you guys get to hear how I feel about it, but even if you don't care how I feel about it, which, by the way, hurtful, guys, come on. It's on Kickstarter now, and if you like what you see when you check it out and look into it, watch the video, read all the stuff on it, please back it and make it happen, because I know that Jack Holder, who's the creator, he really, it's a book that needs to be seen. Actually, I was told that he and I have very similar writing styles, which means that obviously he's talented as fuck. So, I mean, it's going to be a good book. Heroes International, ongoing comic book series, a comic book featuring a superhero team just like any other popular superhero team from Marvel or DC, with one exception. They suck. It ends, November 10th. So look into that. Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger, getting in the ring of fandom by backing this Indiegogo today. If you're a wrestling fan, that's one to check out. I remember Rowdy Roddy Piper back in the day. Such a cool dude. So crazy and so much fun. I know that John Crowther does a lot of the wrestling books. I don't know if this is John or not. I don't think so. But really cool. I would definitely look into this if that's your kind of thing. Fetishism Tales Volume 1. This is what I was talking about earlier. And it's your chance to get on to the Kickstarter and hopefully help make it happen, or at least show your support. So if that is something you care about, please, man, check it out and let your wallet do the talking. Yi Sun Shin, Hunter and Destroyer, #1. It's in development, and our hero is coming back in full force, and he has his sights set on Baron Seo. I will tell you guys something. My wife actually went, and it's so cool. The writer, the creator of this book, Henri, he was at Alamo City Comic Con with me this weekend. I got to meet him real quick, and that guy, he was fucking grinding. He ended up selling out. He sold everything. He was working so hard. I was so proud of him. I think he did phenomenal. And honestly, Henri, it was really nice meeting you, brother. I really, my wife went out and bought all 4 of the original books. I'm excited to read them, check them out, and see what you got going on. And I would love to do a review on it and tell everyone how I felt. I have a bunch of reviews coming, but I really want everyone to know with this one. So, yeah, please check this out. I think it's just leaving Kickstarter, or just funded and finished, I believe. But nonetheless, take a look at it, and because Henri, the story, the art, all of it, it looks really good. So I think you guys will have a lot of fun in store. And if you don't believe me right now, you can believe me afterwards when I've read it and I tell you. And I mean, let's be honest. If it sucks, I just won't talk about it. So you'll learn. Goth Ghost Girl, Bloodbath comic, she's back. A comic book about a murdered goth rock star back from the dead. Because rock and roll can never die. And I'm with you. Never, ever. Cartoon Girls, a collection of fun pinup art. Cartoon Girls features a collection of original cartoon girl pinup art by cartoonist Aaron Hazuri. Niobe returns in Erathune. She is death. And Assessa Niobe returns to reclaim her throne in 3 tales. Get the Erathune hardcover, She is Death, #1 and 2, and the vampire epic Assessa, #1. And that all ends on November 4th. Comic-Con Southern Exit, Texas. Blake Harrington was at Alamo City Comic Con. I did not see Blake Harrington, just because I didn't know to look for Blake. But I was there as well, and we had a blast, and hopefully everything went super well for Blake. Yeah, man, I really hope it did. The Few and Cursed, #5. It's Red versus Crow, and the penultimate part of the Crows of Manaolana story, and we're pulling all the stops for a thrilling finale. War continues exclusively on Tapas. We've talked about this bad boy. We've talked about Dirk Manning's Right or Wrong on many occasions. A terrific book, especially if you're a comic book creator. It'll help you make better books, which is really what it's all about. The Scientist 1 and 2, my boy, Jeff Weber. Great comic book creator. He's got a terrific all-ages kid-style book. The Scientists 1 and 2, kids must escape from a dark experiment. Young geniuses have been thrown into a strange experiment. They'll embark on a wild adventure to escape, but not everyone will make it. Then we have the indie news for October 25th. And I think that's... okay, well, you know what? I'm going to talk about this one real quick. The Comic-Con Highway Weekend Forecast. A takeover is coming, but first, Texas goes big with Chuck. So thank you so much, Rob, for mentioning me and for mentioning me being there. I don't think anyone actually came up and told me that they had noticed it, but that's okay. I mean, it's not easy to find comic fans in Texas. I mean, the Comic Cons are pretty big, but for a state as big and populous as Texas, our conventions aren't even in the top 10 of North American comic cons, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But still, it was an amazing convention. Had such a good time. I'm over the moon. So I don't have a lot else to say. We've caught up to the news from the 25th. There wasn't a lot between now and then, but I'm hoping next time you see me, which is most likely going to be this coming Sunday, to talk more, and I'll have more things to say. So, without further ado, my friends, I want to say this nice and easy. Peace, love, and comics.